Thanks for joining us for our online devotion for this week. This is part 3 of just kind of this faith conversation that I'm having with Ashlee. If you missed some of the other parts, that's fine. If you enjoy this one, you can go back on our YouTube page or whichever social media that you are watching this and you can check it out. And so why are we doing this is I'm asking Ashlee a question that she has not been prepped or prepared for. And our hope is that you would kind of reflect on how would you respond if somebody asked this on the street? And then we'd also really love it. Ask it to your friends, your family, maybe around the dinner table and see what everyone would say. And we're focusing on story because as a youth group, we're kind of getting ready to focus in on the stories in the Gospel of John. But we also think, this is something that the whole church can benefit from. So Ashlee, thanks for hopping on with me for part 3 here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So this one might seem very broad, but I think it's a good question. And so this is just, almost picture of a stranger asked you this and they said, the Bible's so big. What is the story of the Bible? I know it's a very broad question, so if you need more specific, but like what actually is God's story?
I would describe it as God, his creation that has fallen away from him and needs a savior. And the whole Bible is the progression to that savior. And then to like the new kingdom and all.
Okay. So, dude, I can't argue with that. I think that that's a great answer. Maybe just for a little bit of detail. So you said the new kingdom and all. What did you mean? I know that that's a very hard question, but like, what does that mean kind of on that back end?
I feel like that's just saying like one Jesus said he came first as the lamb and then he's going to come back as a lion and bring us with him into the new earth. So I feel like that it goes from, okay, God creates this to, okay, now there's a whole new earth and creation that we get to live in.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, I'm very impressed. You know your New Testament and everything as well as your Old, because I love how you said then at the beginning, you kind of said it's the whole, I think you said leading up to a savior. What would you say? What is that part that's leading up to the savior? Would you say that's the Old Testament or what is that
the
kind of
Old
section?
Testament, yeah. I think the Old Testament's what leads up to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that if you had to give somebody the 2-second version, I mean, I think that is a great part of it. It's God's story, creation, and then how everything, building up to Jesus, then you have Jesus, and then it's everything after. So yeah, I mean, I think you almost hit the nail. Like it was almost too perfect of an answer. I don't know if I have a ton of follow-up questions. I mean, do you have anything that you want to add to that, or do you think you kind of nailed it?
I feel like that's like a good broad description.
Yeah, that is a very good broad description. I'll say as a follow-up, so you're a teenager, and so you're at different places in your life and everything. Does anyone ever ask you, has it ever come up in conversation where somebody says like, hey, what even is the Bible?
Yeah, I feel like it has, especially with where I go to school. There's a lot of diversity and people coming from different areas and different viewpoints.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people can, when the Bible comes up in conversation, like I feel myself almost like not repeating myself, but trying to like find something that they would understand, because I feel like a lot of people have the from what I said in our part 2, they have the idea that God is a mean guy, the mean guy in the sky.
Yeah. Okay. So when you say finding something that they can relate to, or you mean like you're trying to use an analogy or an example, or?
Yeah, I feel like I would try and give them an example. I feel like I do like to use like the parable of the lost sheep. That's why I like it so much, because it's easy to like grasp. I feel like it's one of the easier parables to understand and grasp. Even for my age, like parables are, and like even for adults, like I know adults that I've heard who have said like some of these are like hard to understand, especially my mom.
Yeah.
Like I know she sometimes like she used to struggle with the understanding part of it. So I
Hmm.
feel like I like using the parable of the lost sheep to kind of like give an understanding.
Yeah, I mean, Ash, I think you're showing just like incredible wisdom is the word I want to use, because I think, yeah, adults and kids alike, there are not even just parables, there's tons of the Bible that are so difficult to understand. So I think it's really cool that if, it comes up, you can kind of drill in on like, hey, here's something that people can understand. Everyone kind of knows how sheep work and a shepherd, and that's really cool, Ashley. I think that that was an excellent answer. So, yeah, I mean, this is part 3. We're just kind of thought, hey, like, let's do a little mini series here for our online devotions. Let's get some of our youth group students involved. But I really hope that you make this a dinner table conversation after you watch these, and kind of ask those around you and be like, hey, if you had to say on the fly, what is the story of the Bible and what would you say? And then again, yeah, that's kind of how I'll wrap it up. So Ashley, thank you so much for doing these with me. And I just want to say, very impressed with your answers. You did a great job.
Thank you.